Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss about conditional statements in Python. Now, conditional statements are used to decide the flow of your program based on a particular condition. Let's take an example. Let's say you are logging into any particular website. Your website will check whether username and the password which you are entering is valid or not. If you talk about flow of program, let's say your username and the password is valid, then one set of instructions is executed. Or if username or password is invalid, error message is displayed to the user. Now let's discuss Python syntax. You will write if. Now if is the keyword, then you will specify a particular condition. Keep in mind this condition should either evaluate to true or false. After that you have to put a colon. Now this colon tells Python, okay, there is a block of statement following this. If you are writing a block of code in Python, you have to add 4 spaces before writing that particular statement. So your syntax will be if, that is a keyword, then any particular condition which will either evaluate to true or false, then colon to specify a block of code, then indentation of 4 spaces, and you will write multiple statements in this block. Next, if this condition is not satisfied, you will write a else block for this. So else is another keyword in Python. Else, then colon, followed by indentation and then statements. Now in case if you have multiple conditions to check, you can write elif block. So here after if, I am writing elif block. Elif, again elif is a keyword. After elif, I will specify one condition, then colon, and then statements. Let's take a small example and discuss the syntax. Let's say number 1 is equals to 100 and number 2 is equals to 200. I want to compare which number is greater. Now if you see the conditions, first either num1 is greater or num2 is greater or num1 and num2 are equal. So I need to write a if-else block for this. I'm saying if num1 is greater than num2. Now you see it will either evaluate to true or false. Now in this case 100 is greater than 200, this condition is false. Okay, so I'm saying num1 greater than num2, then colon, and I need to specify 4 indentation, that is 4 spaces. Here I'm writing print if num1 is greater, I need to write num1 is greater than num2. Second condition, num2 is greater than num1. For that I'm writing elif num2 is greater than num1. If this is the condition, then I need to print num2 is greater than num1. Now last condition will be both are equal. So in that case, I will just say else. That means if this condition is satisfied, then print num1 is greater than num2. If num2 is greater than num1, then print num2 is greater than num1. Otherwise, print both are equal. Now let's try to execute this program. I'm pressing Ctrl S and Ctrl V. Okay, in that case it is showing me, okay, num2 is greater than num1. That is correct. Let's change the inputs. Okay, now when I change num2 to 50, it's saying, okay, num1 is greater than num2. Now let's make it equal. Okay, now it will show num1 and num2 are equal. Okay, now let's discuss more about the indentation. In Python, whenever you are starting a block of code, all the statements inside that particular block should be at the same indentation level. So here, if I do not give any indentation and if I try to execute this code, let's see the error. It will show me that indentation error, expected an indented block. Now this will work even if I specify a single space. Okay, so you can see the program is working, but it is standard practice to always add 4 spaces as an indentation. So here I'm adding 4 spaces as indentation. Again, all statements inside that particular block should be at same indentation level. So I'm writing one more statement here, but at different indentation. Print Okay, let's run this. As indentation is not same, it will throw me error that indentation error unindented does not match any outer indentation level. So that's why if you're writing a block of code, all the statements inside that block should be at same indentation level. Okay. So this is the syntax of your if-else. One more important point about your conditional statements. Here, let's say I'm writing if 1 and let's say print statement in if block. Okay, and I'm writing one else. Print in else block. Okay, let's execute this. I'm not writing any condition, I'm just writing one number, that is if 1. You can still see that, okay, it's showing me the output that statement in if block. It means it is going into this particular if block. Now the reason is, if you specify a non-zero value, that is defaultly considered as a true for your statements. That's why if I say 1 or 2, it will still go to this particular if block. If I write if 0 and now if I check the output, now it will go to this particular else block. Okay, because 0 and let's say none, okay, it is defaultly evaluates to false. That's why it will go to the else block. So any non-zero value will be considered as a true in Python. So that's all about conditional statements. In the next video, we will discuss about loops in Python.